Spears putting the ball in play. He gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it. Over the stand goes. Havlicek stole the ball.
A cherished moment in Boston Celtic history, and Thursday night history repeated itself.
Worst comes to worst, the Celtics will have to foul. There's a steal by Henderson, who lays it up and in.
Game 2 of the NBA World Championship Series was an emotional and physical struggle. Laker fan Jack Nicholson called for a sweep, but the clock ran out on Magic Johnson. In overtime, an unlikely hero emerged as the Celtics squared the series at 1-1. There was jubilation on one side, and only thoughts of what could have been on the other. And the Celtics added yet another glorious page to the championship history book. Now they've got basketball on their minds in sunny Southern California, where the Forum will be the setting for Game 3 of the NBA World Championship Series. You step inside the Forum, and you enter one of the most expensive pieces of real estate in all of sports. Jack Kent Cooke sold this building to Jerry Buss in 1979 for $67.5 million. Oh, yes, he threw in a basketball team, a hockey team, and a ranch. Oh, sit here at courtside, and it costs you $100 a game. Stars are what these people pay to see, and they've had them throughout the years. Here's the retired jersey of the great Elgin Baylor. Overlooked because of the presence of these two, Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West. They are the men who led the Lakers to their first world championship in 1972. There is an empty spot on the wall, and that awaits jersey number 33. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will retire it at the end of next season. Kareem was the center on the 1980 and the 1982 championship teams. This is another even year in the 80s, and the sellout crowd here in the Forum is thinking world championship again. Now, ordinarily, this is a laid-back crowd in the Forum, but it will not be that way today. The Boston Celtics are a force to be reckoned with, and these folks are ready here in Southern California. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Brent Musburger. We are all even in this NBA World Championship Series, and prior to Game 2 in Boston Thursday night, I said the pressure was squarely on the shoulders of the Boston Celtics. They responded to the challenge, but the Los Angeles Lakers let one get away, and that means that today the pressure shifts to the shoulders of the Lakers. How will they handle the burden of having choked down the stretch in Game 2? That is the critical question. Now, a man who was out here early for the Celtics today, in fact, as early as I've ever seen him, was Larry Bird. He spoke to our Dick Stockton, who will be calling the play-by-play. Dick, what did Larry have to say?
Well, Brent, the series scoreboard may show 1-1, but according to Larry Bird, it's 1-1 in favor of the Lakers. He says that the Lakers have dominated the play. They have outplayed Boston without any question, and that they have more guns than the Boston Celtics. And one reason may be the lineup change made by Pat Riley before the series started. It began in the last game in the Phoenix series. He installed James Worthy as outstanding sixth man in the lineup and moved Michael Cooper to guard. Worthy has been a terror on offense, and Michael Cooper has done a terrific defensive job on Larry Bird. So that matchup has worked for the Los Angeles Lakers, but the things change as the series goes on. I want to bring in my partner, Tommy Heinsohn, and we're going to see two people come off the bench for the Lakers today, and they could be important factors for L.A., Tom.
That's right, Dick. Pat Riley told us that he's going to use Jamal Wilkes a lot more. Great player in the past for these Lakers, suffering from an illness, but he's come on strong lately, and he's also, for the first time, it looks like, going to use Mike McGee in this series, a player that had started in the series against the Phoenix Suns.
And Pat Riley told us he thinks before it's all over, Jamal Wilkes is going to be a very key performer. Now, we have talked about the fast break, and of course he wants more quickness in the lineup, but when the fast break does not work, they go to the half-court game, which means the name of the game is double-teaming the big guns on the Boston Celtics, and the Lakers have done that so well.
Well, a double team is simply double-teaming a man with the ball to take it out of his hands, a good offensive player, much like double-teaming a wide receiver in professional football. What goes on right now is Larry Bird down in the low post, being two Lakers guarding him. He's trying to find an open man, a cutter going to the basket. You see Cedric Maxwell trying to make his move. He's bumped out of there. Gerald Henderson makes his move. Bird under pressure throws the ball away. And here's how you beat the double team. Kevin McHale, 2 Lakers around him. The uncovered man, Scott Wedman, at the head of the key, one of the finer outside shooters of the Celtics. Out it goes to him, up and in, and that's the way to beat the double team.
Tommy, Casey Jones is looking for the guard who can bury that jump shot wide open from outside, and maybe that guard will be the hero of game number 2, Gerald Henderson, who right now is with Pat O'Brien. Pat?
Thank you, Dick. You know, Gerald, the last time we talked was just after you put the game into overtime. That must have been a big lift for the Celtics.
Yes, it was. We needed that desperately, and, you know, we came back to win it in overtime. I'm just glad that, you know, I could make that play.
Now, you've been guarding Magic Johnson, who gets a lot of acclamation. Could you be the unsung hero of this series?
Well, maybe. I don't know. We got out a bomb burner in Boston, and I just hope we can come out of Los Angeles with 1 win. And all the guys, we have to have a lot of contributions off of our bench, and you know, it'd be great if we could just come out with 1 win.
Speaking of that, you've been putting in a lot of, substituting a lot of guards. What's Casey Jones looking for with that?
Well, we have good shooters on the bench. Danny, Scott Wedman. You know, if we can get those guys going with a hot hand, you know, that's a great contribution, and we need it.
Okay, thank you, Gerald, who says he may be the unsung hero. Brent, back to you.
All right, Pat, thank you. So many shooters on the bench. Let me bring in now Kevin Lockbury, the coach of the Chicago Bulls. What about Casey Jones's guard rotation in this series, Kevin?
Well, Brent, because of the defense that the Lakers is playing, giving the guards of the Celtics the outside shot, Casey's been forced to use 5-guard rotation, bringing in Danny Ainge more and using a forward at guard, Scott Wedman. That could cause some problems.
Let's take a look now at the Celtics from the perimeter.
Well, here is Dennis Johnson from the perimeter. His weakness in his game, he's the best guard they have, is the outside shot. Here's a real bad jump shot by Dennis Johnson. On the other hand, Scott Wedman, a converted forward to guard, is a great outside shooter, and he hits a jump shot right here, but again, you could have a problem.
Kevin, you're a coach. The egos are so important. What happens when somebody doesn't get enough playing time?
Well, particularly your starters. They used to play an awful lot. Dennis Johnson, Gerald Henderson. The Celtics need these 2 players. You have to worry about their confidence. If they lose confidence, they could be in trouble, and the Lakers are tough.
Kevin, a little sidebar to this series. The great actor Jack Nicholson was in the Boston Garden. He really stirred that crowd up, and then he left early. Wouldn't you know it? He was on the team plane with the Celtics coming out to Los Angeles. The movie? It was Terms of Endearment. He won an Academy Award for his part in that movie. They got down to the end of it, the critical scenes. M.L. Carr took off his headset, threw it down, says, I'm not watching the end of your movie. You didn't watch the end of our victory. We are ready now. It is Game 3 of the NBA World Championship Series, coming up on CBS in just a moment.
The NBA on CBS. Today's championship game is sponsored by Milwaukee's best old-time quality at an old-time price. Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Honda Motorcycles. Honda, follow the leader.
One, two, three. All right, Mark, let's get something going. Oh, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm fine. Tommy?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm okay.
Let me give you a little more here. No. Oh, is that Mark? Yeah, Mark.
I got you, Mark. How we doing?
Well, you're loud and clear, Mark.
Loud and clear.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about a little bit more, Mark? They're yelling now. Can you do it without killing? I hear you real good. Everything seems fine now. Back at the Forum in Los Angeles, let's meet the coaches and then the starters for Game 3. Casey Jones and Pat Riley. sticking with their original plans and hoping for better execution. The forwards. Larry Bird, the Celtics' leading scorer. James Worthy is hitting at 24 points a game. The power forward, Cedric Maxwell, the top offensive rebounder. Kurt Rambis has to keep Max off the board. Robert Parrish bounced back after Kareem outplayed him in game number 1. The playmaking guards, Gerald Henderson, whose quickness made him a hero. Magic Johnson, still the Lakers' number 1 all-round threat. And the other guards, who are defensive specialists. Cooper has done a fine job. Johnson has struggled. And the officials, Earl Strom and Paul Mahalik. And Jess Kersey is the alternate. A capacity crowd and an exciting crowd. As Brent said, no laid-back Southern California mood today. And certainly the Boston Celtics aren't laid back, although Casey Jones has always taken the low-key approach, Tommy.
He's that type of coach. He's loosened up this Boston Celtic team after last season where they thought they were under extreme mental pressure under Bill Fitch. But, boy, they've had a relaxed attitude all season long.
Here are the scores of the first 2 games of the series. The Lakers winning game 1 in Boston, and the Celtics in overtime in that dramatic finish in game number 2 in Boston. Games 3 and 4 here at the Forum in Inglewood, and there is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who scored 20 points in game 2, only the second NBA player in history for 4,000 points in the playoffs. Jerry West is the only other player to account for at least 4,000 points in playoff history. Robert Parrish, the center for the Celtics. Both of them are 7-footers. Although Robert Parrish gives up a few inches to Kareem. Out of bounds. And it's Boston ball. On now they say, yes it is. Boston ball, and so the Celtics will go on the attack with Henderson and Johnson in the backcourt. Maxwell, number 31, who's guarded by Kurt Rambis. James Worthy is on Dennis Johnson. It's been a big plus matchup for LA. Johnson misses the first shot. Here come the Lakers running. Worthy. Dennis Johnson is back. James Worthy hits. So Tommy, pace, so very important to the Lakers. And we'll have an LA foul, but we saw them running, and that's what they want to do.
The Lakers like to establish the pace of the game in the first 6 minutes, and so do the Celtics. So this is going to be right up quick by both teams.
Foul is on Michael Cooper. Now Worthy is out on Bird. Magic Johnson doubling Robert Parrish. Johnson going inside and has the ball tipped away, and a 2-on-1 break for LA. Magic Johnson is fouled by Gerald Henderson. And a technical foul has been called against Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper has been hit with a technical foul after the Lakers were charged, and Michael Cooper was charged with a foul. And Dennis Johnson will try the technical foul. It was a 2-on-1 fast break for LA.
That was all started by that packed-in defense of the Lakers. Here they come up on the fast break. Henderson's got 2 of the yellow-shirted Lakers, and now makes the block. The whistle blows, and here comes Magic over, and Cooper, and just kind of inadvertently said something wrong to the official.
I'm surprised after that foul by Henderson on Boston why the Lakers would have a beef unless it was that first foul called on Cooper. But Magic Johnson hits 1 out of 2, and that was his first miss of the series. He was 11 for 11 going into the game. So we've already had some action in the first couple of minutes of game 3.
And the Lakers have very nicely established the pace of the game, at least in their first couple of possessions. Boston is yet to get their game running.
Foul is on Kurt Rambis, as Casey Jones was claiming that LA was using that illegal defense, and we're going to hear a lot about that at halftime from Kevin Lockery. Larry Bird off the mark. The Boston Celtics haven't come close yet. And Michael Cooper pulls up. $5-0, and the Lakers come out strong. Keep in mind that the team that's come out strong in the 2 previous games has gone on to win. Henderson can't hit the shot outside, and a Boston foul in the backcourt.
Well, this game is shaping up right now for Boston, even early, of a game of proof-to-me play. As Pat Riley's saying, guards of the Celtics, you got to hit it from the outside.
Foul is on Larry Bird, and the team fouls are 2 and 2 with about a minute and a half gone by. Rambis inside, lays it in. The Celtics started out leading 7-0. 7-0 in game number 2, and now Casey Jones wants a timeout. Lakers score the first 7 points of this game 3.
Hey, we have no squawk box to the truck.
Good point. Tommy doesn't have a squawk box here.
To the truck.
You know that? The Lakers have run off the first 7 points. LA had an 18-point lead against the Boston Celtics in game 1. The Celtics open up a 13-point advantage in game 2. So the barometer of the early play has been a factor so far in this series. Bird hits the first shot for the Boston Celtics, who take 2 minutes to get on the board. Henderson is on Magic Johnson. His quickness paid off in game number 2. Cooper looking into Kareem. They double team, leaving Cooper wide open. And Bird inside with a rebound.
That's the first time we saw the strategy of Casey Jones. He's going to pack it in much like the Lakers did in game 2.
Maxwell on a feed, and traveling called against Cedric Maxwell. That's one thing the Celtics haven't really done all that well, is pack it in and force the Lakers to beat them with outside shooting as well.
They have selectively double-teamed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and now they've decided to have all the green jerseys inside the painted area to cut down on the drive. It's going to force Cooper and Magic to hit from outside.
Here's the sky hook. Parrish gets the rebound, gets it up court, and a 3-on-1 break. Henderson goes in, and there's the Boston Celtics fast break that we haven't heard all that much of so far in the series.
Well, that timeout by Casey Jones, a good one, will help get the Celtics on track.
Johnson. Here's Worthy. A line drive shot by James Worthy, who missed his first attempt on Thursday in game 2, and then made his last 11 for 29 points, a playoff high for the second-year player who's emerging as a star out of the University of North Carolina. Henderson outside, way off the mark. Johnson gets the pass to Worthy. Bird is back on defense, but here's the challenge. Loose ball. Cooper beat Bird to the ball. And Larry's not happy with that. Magic Johnson scoops it. I think the Lakers are doing a better job off the offensive glass in this game so far.
Well, the reason Larry was unhappy is that he didn't see any other green jerseys hustling back to protect against that fast break.
Lakers lead by 5.
There were just 2 Celtics back there, Henderson and Bird.
Here's Parrish, and the Celtics just can't hit anything from outside. Bird has the only basket, and on the fast break, James Worthy comes back. Jack Nicholson is up out of his seat already, and we're only in the first period. Under 8 minutes to go. Parrish goes inside, and a foul is called against the Lakers. It'll be their 3rd team foul. When you hit 5, it's the penalty time, and the foul is on Abdul-Jabbar.
Parrish, to avoid the double team, one of the ways to do that is quickly move to the basket before it develops.
Henderson looking for Parrish again. He's short with that. He's claiming foul. Earlstrom says no. Boston is only 2 for 9 so far from the field. Not a good sign for the Celtics. 7.5 minutes to play first period. Rambis gets free inside. What happened there?
Packed-in defense opened up. A couple outside shots by Worthy, and Cooper has opened it up.
No basket and a foul before the shot.
Here's the packed-in defense that evaporates. Everybody's supposed to be in the painted area with the green jerseys. Now Rambis rolls in there, and everybody else, because they hit a couple outside shots, back outside, and opens up the middle.
Maxwell missing outside. The foul was on Rambis, his second. Here's another break. Worthy, and a foul. You think the Lakers are pumped?
Here comes Magic Johnson, and I think Worthy may have gotten away with a walk here. And Maxwell goes up.
And another timeout with 7:04 remaining in the first period. Okay.
Yeah. No, they have one fast break point. You're wrong. The stats are wrong. Henderson got a layup.
Yeah, that's the wrong stat. That's wrong. Don't use this. Don't use this. Come back to Magic. The Lakers have opened up an 11-point lead, and Earvin Magic Johnson, playing great end-to-end basketball, already has 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 block shot. He came out strong, shooting-wise, particularly in the first 2 games. Worthy misses the free throw, but the Lakers gain control after Maxwell's personal foul. The Lakers are crisp, they're sharp, and it's all working for them right now. Double team on Kareem. Rambis drives in.
That's what Shabazz does so well. Find the open man going to the hoop when he's double teamed. A great passer.
17-4. The Celtics did not hit any shots, and Bird misses a layup inside. Inside, outside, it doesn't matter. The Celtics can't hit, and the Lakers are doing everything right. And with 6:25 to go in the first period, here's Worthy again. And we have a foul. It is B against the Boston Celtics. I tell you, James Worthy might have made a bad pass in game 2. Right now, that may be the worst thing that ever happened to the Boston Celtics.
Pat Riley told us when he came into the locker room and Worthy looked at him, he said, take a shower and wash it off. That's the type of coach Pat Riley is. And also, Worthy's responded well here today.
You see Kevin McHale and Scott Wedman quickly in the ball game. Off the bench, Wedman for his outside shooting, McHale for offense. Kareem bumps, and Parrott fouls him. It'll be a 2-shot foul, and Kareem will go to the line, and so Robert Parrott has picked up his first personal foul, and that is the 15th foul against the Celtics, and they're in the penalty.
They really have the Celtics guessing right now, Dick. They're playing super basketball. What a way to start at home. Get off in front quickly with fast break baskets. James Worthy, they still can't find him from the last ball game, and that's why Dennis Johnson, I believe, has gone to the bench, and they brought in Wedman in addition to the outside shooting. Wedman, they feel, will stay with him.
Kareem, 1 out of 2. 14-point lead. Amazingly, we're almost halfway through this opening period, and the Boston Celtics have scored 4 points. Here's Bird. Gets free for the layup. Lakers want to run. Even after made baskets, that's what Kurt Rambis does so well for that team. On the half-court game, Kareem, good inside passer, defended by 3 and fouled by 1. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. And the foul is on Gerald Henderson, his second personal foul.
That's the first time I've seen them really pack in the defense against Jabbar to cut down the passes to the cutters to the hoop. He didn't have any place to go. Henderson almost made a good steal that time.
So Kareem is on the line. He wrote a book called Giant Steps. He opened up in that book, revealed himself for the first time. He was the victim of a fire which destroyed his possessions in his house last year, made last year a tough season for him. I think he appreciates the game of basketball more than ever now at age 37. He misses both free throws, though, and it's still 18-6 in favor of the Lakers. Henderson outside, Magic, with that great wingspan defending. And here's Scott Wedman, who hit the winning basket in the waning seconds of overtime for the Boston Celtics. Hits the outside shot. Kareem coming right back off the rim. Parrish the rebound, and his outlet pass is to Henderson. It is a 4-on-2 break for Boston, and it's Kevin McHale, goaltending called against Worthy, and Kevin McHale scores for the Celtics.
They're trying to get their fast breaking gear to match the fast break of the Lakers, but they're having trouble getting it started.
5 minutes and 10 seconds to go, first period. You can spell this first period L-A. It's 18-10, but the Celtics with 2 baskets trying to come back. Worthy over Bird. Kareem gets the 2. He had good position on Robert Parrish. Here's Scott Webber. Bird inside. No question that they're going to Kareem on one end and Bird on the other end on the half-court game.
And they're doing it on what you call a quick hitter before the total defense of the Lakers can set up.
Now an offensive foul has been called against the Lakers. James Worthy, who rarely says a word, is saying several to Earl Strom. And for Worthy, it's his first personal foul. The Lakers have 14 fouls. And coming in for the Boston Celtics is Quinn Buckner. Buckner replaces Gerald Henderson. Buckner, a third guard, a playmaker who sets the pace and plays a pretty tight defensive game.
He normally comes in as the first guard off the bench, but Casey Jones changed that substitution pattern.
Parrish is fouled going inside and will go to the line, and that's the 15th foul on the Lakers. So both teams are in the penalty, and Irvin Magic Johnson picks up foul number 1.
Celtics are having a lot more movement now in their half-court offense, and they're having a little bit more success getting the ball inside than they have the prior 8.5 minutes.
Robert Parrish is 1 for 8 coming into this game on the free throw line, and normally he's in the 70s in shooting from the free throw line.
You know, he's a guy that they all think should offset Jabbar scoring-wise. It's kind of an unfair thing the press has put on his shoulders.
20-14. Kareem, turnaround off the glass. Not too many people can match Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He's 80% of the offense, and the Celtics don't look to Parrish for 80% of their set offense.
And maybe looking to Parrish now, and Parrish and Kareem, and now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is enraged as he is hit with his second personal foul as Parrish wound up on top of Kareem on the floor.
Well, they bumped Parrish out of the post. They don't like to give him the low post position. There's Kareem leaning on him. Then he backs down, and Parrish just falls down. I don't think it was really a foul, but Parrish at the line. And as bad a start as the Celtics have had, they're only 5 down.
Well, it hasn't been bad lately. They've outscored the Lakers 11-2 with nearly 4 minutes to go in the first period. And LA is by 5. Bob McAdoo is in the game, gets the basket, and draws the foul on a typical Bob McAdoo jump shot, something he's done throughout his career.
You better pick him up quickly as he comes up the court from his old Buffalo Braves days as a trailer off the fast break. They'll give it to him. He'll take it from the head of the key, and he can hit him.
Foul is on Kevin McHale, his first. 3-point play from McAdoo, who's been with 6 ball clubs. Seems to be finishing up with the LA Lakers. And a great comeback year 2 years ago when the Lakers won the title. McAdoo a big part of it. Cooper on Bird, plays him tough. Bird pumped before he took the shot, missed everything. And now the Lakers with an 8-point lead trying to open it up to 10 again.
That was great defense by
McAdoo from the corner. 3:35 to go, and there it is, a 10-point lead again after the Celtics had narrowed the LA lead to 5. Wedman going for 3, and he hits a 3-pointer. So Scott Wedman with a big 3-point play. It looks like he's on the mark so far. Magic Johnson coming right back down with a layup. And he went through the Celtics as if there were only 2 men out there.
Like a hot knife through butter.
Buckner looking for Bird inside. That's the strategy. Here's another 3-point attempt by Wedman. Doesn't go. Buckner. Good pass back from Bird to Buckner. It's blocked by Kareem. Parrish doesn't control it. And it's LA ball. Celtics had several chances. And now coming into the ball game for the Lakers is Jamal Wilkes. Jamal Wilkes will be coming in. But there's a timeout called by Pat Riley and the Lakers with 2:55 remaining in the first period. It's a 9-point lead for LA, 27-18. And we want to remind you that this series will continue Wednesday night here at the Forum in Los Angeles at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Wednesday, Game 4 between the Celtics and the Lakers here at the Forum.
Kareem playing an awful lot of defense right now. Here's Buckner getting free on a pass from Bird, and he's right in there like he's supposed to be. The stopper swats it away, goes back to Wedman, but they are not consistently hitting that outside shot to break up that LA defense.
The Celtics had come within 5. Here's the shooting so far in the ball game. Boston struggling early, and Los Angeles is just shooting the lights out here. But their lead is 9, and the Celtics have already shown that they can come back with a run of their own. We mentioned that Wilkes is coming into the ball game, and there's a story there. He's had that intestinal virus, has been weakened for several months. It's been a long road back for the 10-year veteran from UCLA, who has been a terrific player and a great outside shooter, good defensive player too. And as Pat Riley told us yesterday, he feels Wilkes will be a factor in this series.
I spoke to him yesterday myself, and he says, I spent 2 weeks in bed, and trying to come back from that into playoff competition timing is almost impossible. But he's making a strong bid for it right now, and they're going to need him, and Pat Riley feels it's going to be a big key before it's all over.
And he plays Larry Bird pretty well too, defensively.
Plays Bird great, and he also, that outside shot, should the Celtics want to pack in that defense and dare them to shoot from outside, he's going to prove to them he can hit it.
So here he is, Jamal Wilkes. His first championship was with Golden State in 1975 when he was a rookie. The next 2, of course, with the Lakers. Under 3 minutes to go in the first period, and Michael Cooper.
Well, they've got McAdoo playing center for the Lakers right now. Might be an advantage for Parrish.
Knocks the ball away, still Los Angeles ball.
Parrish much stronger and bigger than McAdoo underneath.
Should the Celtics go to Parrish more?
LA right now, I think, is anticipating that, but I certainly would be looking for it if I was Casey Jones.
6 seconds on the shot clock. McAdoo, ball picked off by Larry Bird. He's got Wedman on the wing. Wedman shooting over Jamal Wilkes. McHale trying to keep the ball alive, but it goes to the Lakers, and they have a 2-on-2. Cooper, Worthy, and it's still LA ball. Worthy did not get the best possible pass on that break, but it's still Lakers ball.
What the Celtics are doing, and the Lakers are capitalizing on, the Celtics are taking a shot from one of the guards, perhaps, and following the rebounder, and they only have 1 man back.
Cedric Maxwell has come in for Robert Parrish, who goes out. So now Kevin McHale will be playing the center position with Maxwell and Bird the forwards. Coming off a Worthy screen, Bob McAdoo hits from the corner. McAdoo is shooting, coming into the game only 38% from the field, but he's 3 for 3 so far in this one. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Bird, using his left hand, gets another chance, and is fouled. He'll go to the line.
I'll tell you, Larry Bird is becoming very, very frustrated. Michael Cooper has got the great speed to take away the outside shot. He had Larry Bird flinching on an outside shot. That's how good a defender he was. And now Bird is kind of trying to get his frustrations together.
McAdoo committed the foul. Byron Scott makes his first entrance into the ball game. The rookie from Arizona State in the first round drafted last year. Replaces Michael Cooper. And the man that Byron Scott was traded for is Norm Nixon, who received a terrific hand from the Laker fans when he came in. Always popular and still is, though he plays for the San Diego Clippers. James Worthy, baseline, McHale gets the rebound. And of course, the Clippers, said they want to move to the sports arena in Los Angeles, giving this city 2 teams. Stay tuned. Bird is pushed from behind by Jamal Wilkes. Paul Mihalik doesn't want to hear about it, and Larry will shoot 2 shots.
He's posting up whoever is guarding him because he feels he's got the size advantage against both Cooper and Wilkes. But that pass that time a little high, and Wilkes from underneath. He didn't like it, did he?
No, and normally Jamal Wilkes is kind of a quiet guy.
Low-key guy, but he makes a statement on a basketball court.
Larry Bird, look at that, 38% coming into this game in this series.
Well, he relies for most of the season on that outside game a lot, and I think Cooper has that quickness to get up close to him and has taken away a lot of that.
So Bird, who was the best free throw shooter in the NBA this year, brings the Celtics to within 7 points with 1.5 minutes to go in the first period. Bird has scored 10 points. He is the game high scorer. Now Wedman is on Magic Johnson outside. McHale is on McAdoo. Puts on the fake. And the Lakers are beating the Celtics to the defensive glass. There is no question about it. They are the more aggressive team.
Well, they're on their toes. The Celtics are still rocking, I guess, on their heels. It's funny you term it that way, but that's all it is.
Scott. Maxwell on Wilkes. Here's Jamal Wilkes. McHale the rebound. Setting the pace is Quinn Buckner. And there's Larry Bird hitting the outside shot. Larry Bird says that he likes playing at the Forum. He doesn't look at it as a real road court. He likes the bounces. He likes the lighting here. And after the first 2 games, he thinks the Celtics are glad to be here. Only if you win, I guess, Tom.
I think so.
Worthy threw the ball away, and it's Boston ball with 44 seconds to go. The Celtics have run off 6 straight points.
Wilkes is not going to guard Larry as tight as Cooper has, so he may get some of those outside shots off against Wilkes.
5-point lead. That's the closest the Celtics have come since the start of the ball game. Here's Quinn Buckner, and Buckner hits. When Buckner is hitting, you know that things may be turning your way.
He is not their best outside shooter, and normally if he misses a couple outside, he's back on the bench.
19 seconds on the shot clock. The difference is 2 seconds between the game clock that you see and the 24-second shot clock. And a 3-point lead for the Lakers. At one point it was 14. Here is Byron Scott. And the Lakers will come up again with a second chance. No basket. No basket. The foul was before Magic Johnson went up. But he'll go to the line to shoot 2 with 4 seconds remaining.
Well, they doubled Magic, which is kind of a ridiculous thing to do. Left Scott open in the corner. Was one of their real fine outside shooters. Didn't make it, but the rebound came out nicely to Johnson.
Magic having problems from the line after being perfect from the first 2 games. Led the NBA in assists for the 2nd year in a row. Broke his own all-star assist record and his playoff assist mark. They both come off, but the Lakers wind up with it and get the last shot. McAdoo as the period ends. Well, the Boston Celtics were outplayed, but they ran off 8 straight points to end the period. And after 1 period here at the Forum, it's the Lakers 29 and the Celtics 26. I get a 5.
Bad.
What?
I don't know. I give it a 3.
Huh? All right, we'll give it a little. You want juice, huh?
Yep.
Second period at the Forum in Los Angeles. The Lakers lead the Celtics 29-26. The big matchup right now on the court may be Bob McAdoo against Kevin McHale.
Celtics feel that they have the advantage here because McHale much more physical. Look at McAdoo hang in there, however, but look at the arms over the top of McAdoo. He said, "Get away from me, get away from me, please." But they've got to block McHale off. Tough job for Bob McAdoo.
The Lakers will start with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bob McAdoo in the starting lineup, along with Jamal Wilkes, Magic Johnson, and Byron Scott in the backcourt. As you see Kareem back in the lineup. And now McHale is forced to guard Kareem, so maybe the Lakers saw what you saw. Wedman for the Celtics with Quinn Buckner. Maxwell, Bird, and McHale, of course, up front. 3-point lead for L.A. Hook is short. Rebound by Larry Bird. Kareem is 1 for 5 from the field so far.
They packed the defense in beautifully that time, the Celtics, so that he had no pass opening.
Bird sees Kareem in his face, goes up anyway, and gets the roll. So Larry Bird now with 14 points. Some concern on the face of Pat Riley. Bird with 14. Worthy with 8 leads the Lakers.
I think the Lakers need Michael Cooper back in the game to guard Bird.
29-28. The Celtics were down by 14. They've come back to within 1. They've scored 10 straight points. And now traveling called against Kareem. And the Boston Celtics can take the lead now in the opening minute of this second period.
They're confusing Kareem with that packed-in defense. He can't find an opening.
Celtics have not had the lead. It's been all L.A. They ran off the first 7 points of the ball game. McHale, ball away over Kareem. Winning the battle is Maxwell, and he's fouled. So 2 Lakers were there, and only Cedric Maxwell, and he really has been an unsung performer for the Celtics so far.
Offensively, he has really provided points that he didn't during the regular season. Good low post points, tough ones to get.
Foul is on Magic Johnson. That's number 2 on Urban. Celtics looking for the lead for the first time. 1-1 in games. This is game number 3 in L.A. Open man was Wedman. Picking him up quickly is Johnson. But Wedman hits the jump shot on a high arcer. And the Boston Celtics have had their first lead now at 30-29. Scott Wedman, coming off the bench, has scored 7 points. Kareem inside, and a foul before the shot. Wedman, who played 10 years, and has been a star with Kansas City. In fact, a couple of years ago, averaged over 20 points a game in the playoffs.
He's the second best outside shooter on the Celtic team, and that's why he's in there.
Bird's the best, of course. Double team on Kareem and a steal almost. And now they make it. Wedman, 3-on-1. Buckner going in against Byron Scott, and it rolls in, and the Boston Celtics lead it now 32-29. A 14-point run, and now the Celtics foul Kareem.
That was pretty good hustle back that time by Scott Wedman, who is a forward and is able to get back. Watch him hustle back here. He was on the front end of the fast break, but he's playing the guard position like a guard should. You wouldn't expect a forward to be able to do that.
You expressed a concern that with Scott Wedman, you want him to get back quickly if he does miss a shot.
And he certainly proved it there that time. In fact, that's the reason I think Dennis Johnson is on the bench. He's not getting back quickly.
Robert Parrish is back, and Larry Bird goes out. Bird has scored 14 points, 12 of them in the first period. He is the Celtics' leading scorer, averaging over 25 a game in the series. Celtics by 1. 2 minutes gone by, second period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn from the Forum in Inglewood, game 3. Wedman putting a fake on Scott, going inside. Blocked. Kareem got a piece of it. And now a timeout. 9 minutes, 50 seconds remain. And it's a 32-31 game. The Celtics are leading, and one of the glittering people in the audience at the Forum today is none other than Thomas Hearns, who's getting ready to defend his WBC Super Welterweight Championship against Roberto Duran. That ought to be a good one. Las Vegas, June 15th, a 12-round championship bout. So Thomas Hearns of Detroit, Michigan is here, but right now Pat Riley has other things on his mind.
Well, he got off to a great start. His ball club fast breaking. Worthy got out on the break, but he's been on the bench a while, and I think he's going to look still to pack it with some more speed and try and take advantage. This is the slowest Celtic team on the court right now with Wedman in the backcourt.
Hasn't hurt the Celtics at this moment, as Al Davis, the managing general partner of the world champion Los Angeles Raiders, is here. And of course, he talked with us before the game and says this is an exciting series. Al Davis knows about this level of competition, Tom.
Super Bowls and all that stuff, he sure does.
Celtics got possession, last touch by the Lakers before the timeout. Wedman coming out, shooting over Johnson and Byron Scott. McAdoo the rebound. They're going with a tall lineup, the Lakers are, and McAdoo and Kareem. The Lakers have not had a basket in almost 5 minutes. That's broken by Jamal Wilkes with a patented jump shot from the corner. So the Lakers regain the lead with 9 minutes, 23 seconds to go here in the second period. Michael Cooper's going to come back into the ball game. Byron Scott nearly a steal. Buckner. McHale, and they go to Maxwell against Wilkes. Parrish tipped up and in by McHale. Parrish was there, but McHale, who's so great on the follow-up.
Boy, he's got those hands up high. It's so tough to get at him when he's tipping it in.
Think about the Lakers, though, Tom. They have that blistering break, and when they run it off, they can put you to sleep. McAdoo follows up, and that's what the Celtics have to watch, is that fast break, and the Lakers can run off 8 or 9 points just as easy as the Celtics did.
And they got a very speedy lineup in there right now.
Buckner, who hit one outside shot, hits another, so an added bonus for the Celtics for Quinn Buckner to be hitting the outside shot, and there will be a Boston foul on Cedric Maxwell. Michael Cooper will come into the ball game, and Magic Johnson will get a hand going out. Johnson has 7 rebounds and 7 assists to go along with his 3 points. And Danny Ainge makes his first entrance. There's Wedman, who goes out of the ball game. Scott scored 7 points.
And he established something in the minds of the Lakers, the ability to hit the outside shot, which is so important.
Double team on Kareem, and a good one. And there's Maxwell ahead of the field. McAdoo trying to catch up. And the Celtics lead 38-35. They had to come from way back. They were down by 14. They had scored 4 points in the first 6 minutes of this ball game, and they have made a comeback as the Boston Celtics are called with an illegal defense.
Buckner.
28. And we want to remind you that we will explain the illegal defense from a man who knows, Kevin Lockery, along with Brent Musburger at the half. We'll try to find out what this illegal defense is all about. Kareem, good position inside, blocked by Parrish. Coming down to Danny Ainge. Doesn't have the break. Under 8 minutes to go in the first half. Bird, ball away over Wilkes. Byron Scott, who grew up only 14 blocks from the Forum in Inglewood. McAdoo. Trapped. Cooper open. And Harris knocking it away. But it's last touched by Kareem.
A real tough block shot by Robert Parrish. It's almost in the hoop, but watch him get up right in front of it and knock it away. Great play. Kareem said, nobody does that to me.
Except maybe Robert Parrish and another 7-footer. Celtics with the ball at a 3-point lead. Maxwell against McAdoo, and Maxwell, who had a terrific game offensively with 16 points and 12 rebounds in Thursday, making his presence felt. Celtics with their biggest lead as McAdoo comes back inside. 40-37. Maxwell trying to draw the foul. It's still Celtic ball out of bounds. Casey Jones. A lot of people, when they come into a series, they talk about the Hubie Browns and the Don Nelsons and the Pat Rileys because they're the more quotable people. Casey Jones does not make good copy. He's quiet, but he's a terrific coach.
Well, I'll tell you, made a heck of an adjustment in this game. He's packed in the defense.
Offensive foul against Boston on Parrish.
And that packed in defense is confusing the Lakers a little bit.
Second on Parrish. Maxwell and Parrish each have 2 personal fouls.
Here comes Parrish.
No question about that. Timeout.
In the paint, the Celtics.
Let's make that clear, okay?
All right.
As soon as I do this turnover story, Tommy, I'm going to say we talked at the outset about, you know, the Celtics having to hit the outside and what they're going to do on defense, and you say what it is, okay? Thank you.
Watch. Right here. What?
Everyone's talking.
Yeah. Here's the packed in defense.
What about the graphic? I don't know what we're doing. I have 80 things coming up, man.
What are we using?
I don't know. The Celtics lead the Lakers 40-37. The turnover story, the Lakers turned it over 25 times, the most in the playoffs in game 1, and they've turned it over here, and it's resulted in 8 Boston points. But thinking of the strategy of the Celtics on defense and what they had to do offensively, how has it worked so far, Tom?
They threw a nice wrinkle at them defensively. They've taken away the inside game of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and also those passing lanes that he likes to use to other players.
And they've also hit the outside shot, opening up the game inside.
Right, with Scott Wedman, so their inside game is starting to perk.
Here's McAdoo over Maxwell. Crashing the boards of Worthy, and the foul will be against James Worthy. His second. L.A. scored 7 straight points to start the game. Looks like no stopping them. 18-4 at 1 point, and the Celtics have come back since then and now lead by 3 points. They had it up to 5. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Ainge goes by Cooper, and there's Quinn Buckner. Hit his first 2 shots from outside, misses there, and here's the L.A. break. Cooper and Magic Johnson. Michael Cooper. What the Lakers can do to you, but Boston comes right back. Harris. He had a good shot in there, and now Kareem protecting the ball. Almost knocked Quinn Buckner into the upper deck. Foul against Boston, though.
You're not supposed to swing your elbows, but here's Parrish has a good opportunity. Magic comes in to give him a little trouble. Here comes Kareem, come off with the rebound. And he's throwing elbows, and to tell you the truth, I thought it was on Kareem. Buckner really trying to get out of his way, but they give it to Buckner.
Kurt Rambis is in the ball game now. Bird is guarding him. The foul was against Buckner, and Larry Bird beats everyone to the ball. And now they travel in. So the Lakers still maintain possession. Scott Wedman and Dennis Johnson come back in the ball game. Johnson has not scored. Wedman 7 off the bench. Double team, quick sky hook by Abdul-Jabbar. Rebound Wedman. Scott Wedman has made a terrific contribution to the Boston Celtics, who lead by 40-39 with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first half. Parrish loses it. Parrish lost it. He had it. And now comes Rambis back on the break. And the Lakers, when they get the running game going, forget it. And they're doing it now. And LA has regained the lead with 5.5 minutes to go in the half.
Dennis Johnson, we're going to find out before this series is over whether he's a true Celtic in soul, because he's been in and out and playing a lot like, never like he's been played before.
That's a pretty strong comment, as Wedman misses from the side, but if anyone can make it, it would be an ex-Celtic. Cooper, Worthy, foul. Let's talk about Dennis Johnson. What hasn't he done?
Well, he's been a star in the NBA for a long time. He's not having a good series, and Worthy guarding him has caused him some problems. He's taken away his normal scoring ability in the low post and off rebounds. He's been forced to try and shoot from outside, something he doesn't like to do. And he's getting caught on defense, trying to pick up Worthy, so it hasn't been a good series for him. And for him to hold his cool and not sulk, like a lot of players might, is a big thing. Tough problem for Casey Jones right now to try and get him back into this thing.
James Worthy makes 1 out of 2. Dennis Johnson's foul is his second. The Celtics are in the penalty. The Lakers have committed only 2 team fouls. Under 5 minutes to go in the half. Bird, no good. Harris in a crowd gets it out to Dennis Johnson. Scott Wedman doubled inside, and Maxwell had it and lost it to Rambis. The Celtics are turning the ball over more now. And now they're going to call Cedric Maxwell, who is close to getting a technical foul. Foul is on Maxwell. And Johnson will go to the line, and Maxwell has 3 personal fouls. And that is not a good sign for the Celtics, because Maxwell has shouldered a lot of the offensive and defensive burden up front.
Up comes Magic Johnson, and Maxwell trying a little bit like he did in game 2, tries to get at the ball of Magic, but too late.
The Celtics will call a timeout. Magic Johnson is 1 out of 5 from the free throw line, and Maxwell is hot under the collar. We'll be back. 4:41 remain in the first half, and to find out what we have in store at the half, right now, let's go to Brent Musburn.
All right, Dick, we heard from Bob Cousy in Boston. Today we're going to hear from the great Jerry West of the Los Angeles Lakers. And also we're going to do a feature on a young man who may be the next Julius Erving in this league, James Worthy. And then Kevin Locklear will be along. He'll tell you all about illegal defenses. He's counted a dozen out here that haven't been called. Right now, let's go back to Dick and Tommy.
Thank you, Brent. James Worthy so far has 9 points. Bob McAdoo with 11 leads the Lakers, and Larry Bird with 14 is the top scorer for the Celtics. Magic Johnson's been struggling from the line so far, but the Lakers haven't been overall. They have 7 straight points since the Celtics had their biggest lead by 5.
Well, they got their fast breaking gear, and they can consistently look for that, so you got to be alert to it at all times.
Lakers by 3, but a far cry from their 14-point edge that they had in the first period. Celtics just couldn't hit, and the Lakers were running and taking advantage of those missed shots. Cooper now is on Bird. That's the man the Lakers want. Dennis Johnson. This is the outside shot. Kurt Rambis has it, and it'll be a Boston foul. Looks like Scott Wedman. 3 fouls on Wedman, who has scored 7 points.
But significantly on that, even though he missed it, Dennis Johnson took the outside shot, something he's been reluctant to do. So they must have talked to him on the bench to get him shooting in that department.
Is he upset that he's not guarding Magic Johnson in the series?
I don't really think so, but you never know sometimes what hides in the heads of ball players at times. He might think of a mano-mano duel. And a lot of people of the opinion that if he had guarded Magic Johnson, he would rise to the occasion.
Magic for Dennis Johnson, 0 for 3 from the field. Kurt Rambis. It's the second free throw. 4:22 remaining in the first half. The Lakers lead 44-40. Because Dennis Johnson was an MVP when Seattle won the World Championship 5 years ago. McHale throws it right into the hands of Kareem. To Rambis. And the Celtics are reverting to their style early in the ball game, and the Lakers are taking advantage of it. Rambis is 5 for 5 from the field with 11 points now. They hadn't had much from him until this game. Bird is double teamed. Pass inside, knocked away by Rambis. Now Dennis Johnson penetrates, and this is the layup. He's struggling. 0 for 4 from the field for Dennis Johnson. L.A. has run off 11 in a row. And now Rambis is fouled, and they can make it 13, and the crowd loves it here at the Forum.
Casey Jones right now, I'd call a timeout because they are really having their problems. Bird against that packed-in Laker defense, trying to force passes like we showed at the top into the painted area.
Casey Jones was once an assistant coach with the Lakers.
And Bill Sharman, who was a former teammate of mine, is the president out here of the Lakers, so there's a little bit of a connection between the old green and
Cooper tips in the missed free throw by Rambis. And it's a 49-40 game. The Lakers have run off 14 straight points. And you always have to watch out for a Laker run, and Kurt Rambis is upset. And we have seen more upset players in a short period of time. He is hit with his third personal foul. Rambis goes out of the game and gets a big hand. Free agent. Cinderella story 2 years ago, replaced by McAdoo. Dennis Johnson's follow-up is no good, and here come the Lakers 2-on-1. Worthy to the trainer, McAdoo. The Celtics cannot handle the speed of the Lakers. And an LA foul is against Michael Cooper. That's the 14th foul against Los Angeles.
Here's Bird setting up against Michael Cooper, the smaller man, and Cooper backs down and kind of Bird expecting the contact, falls on top of him. This game has turned into a game of fool referee.
Well, earlier, Tommy, and I guess this has been a game of streaks, the Celtics ran off 14 in a row, but now the Lakers have come back and have reeled off 16 straight points to have an 11-point lead, 51-40 with 2:51 remaining in the first half. We hope you stay with us throughout this series, which is really shaping up. The next game will be Wednesday night here at the Forum, Game 4. We'll be live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. All of the World Championship Series games are live on CBS. Game 4 here at the Forum.
Boston with this unit out there, not the fastest one at getting back on the defense, but they protect against the fast break.
McHale. The Celtics are missing shots. That's what's hurting them. And the Lakers are able to run off the missed shots.
Well, you can't make them all. You just have to get back quickly on the defense, and that's not what they're doing because they don't have the quick feet.
Here's Kareem, baseline. McAdoo or Worthy. It's Worthy. James Worthy, who has emerged as a bona fide star in his second year in the NBA. Make no doubt about it. Traveling call against Boston. And you will hear and see more about this Laker phenomenon, James Worthy, coming up at the half.
When you score a couple of fast break hoops, you start to unravel the nerves of the other team.
Cooper looking inside to Kareem. The Lakers have run off 18 in a row, looking for 21. And Parrish gets the rebound. 53-40, under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Dennis Johnson against McAdoo. Tipped up and in. McHale with his third basket. LA had run off 18 straight points. Earlier, the Celtics had scored 14 in a row. The lead for the Lakers is 11. Games are 1-1 here in the best-of-7 World Championship Series. Cooper trying for his own rebound. It'll be Boston ball. Is Casey called the correct timeouts at the right places, you think, in this streak?
Well, I think he should have called a little timeout while they were making this run. He's going to make a good move right now, I believe. Gerald Henderson on the sideline about to come in for one of these Celtic guards who haven't been playing too well.
By the way, they changed that last basket to Dennis Johnson on the tip-in, not McHale, but Johnson. Larry Bird, great touch inside for the big man, Larry Bird, and there's the man you're talking about, Gerald Henderson. Now the Celtics have come back, cut it to 9 with less than a minute to go. The Lakers, impressive, trying to take the 2-1 lead. Worthy, tipped it in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who hasn't shot that well so far in the ball game, and it's up to 11 again. 40 seconds. Dennis Johnson penetrating. It's another. So the tip in the basket, and maybe Dennis Johnson's confidence coming back.
Well, that time he got into the paint. There's not too many people around him, but he's been drawing a crowd most of the time down in there.
Kareem going inside. So Kareem getting cooking now, has 9 points. And the Celtics playing for the last shot of the first half. They'd like to cut it to 9. Kareem is getting hot, and Johnson now looking with 4 seconds. Scott Wedman's outside shot misses. Harris doesn't get it off in time. And Pat Riley, Bill Burka, Dave Wall, and the Lakers saw a 14-point evaporate and a 19-point turnaround. The Boston Celtics had a lead, and then the Los Angeles Real Express went to work. And at the half, it's the Lakers 57, the Celtics 46. Coming up, Brent Musburger, Kevin Lockery, Pat O'Brien at the half.
Hello, test. I hear you fine now. I hear you fine. Which camera do you have? And the Lakers with an 11-point halftime lead on the Celtics here at halftime. I'm Brent Musburger, and you know, in NBA World Championship play, there are some baskets that live forever. I think the #1 moment, well, let's take you back to 1970. It was the Lakers and the Knicks. And let's pick up the call now with Bob Wolf.
Lakers trying to pressure the inbounds pass, and it comes into Walt Frazier with 10 seconds now showing on the clock. 8 seconds left to go on the clock. 7, 6, 5. DeBusschere shoots. Hits with 3 seconds to go. 2 seconds. 1 second. West throws it up.
And the fans here are applauding Jerry West for that shot. If we'd have had the 3-point play then, Jerry, you wouldn't have had to go into overtime and lose to the Knicks.
Well, Brent, that would probably been the one time in my career that I would have been delighted if we had the 3-point shot, because it was an important time, I think, for all people. Another discouraging loss for us, and that was a special moment.
Jerry, as general manager of the Lakers, what'd you see in the first half? You have to be awfully pleased.
Well, we were real pleased. We'd have to be leading by 11, again, particularly against the Boston Celtics team, and you know they're going to play better the second half. The positive things, I felt we were a much better rebounding team, much more aggressive going after the ball underneath. The negative thing, of course, was the free throw shooting. That wasn't a very big plus for us, but I think in a game like this, there's so much emotion out there that people can't really realize it either at home or in the stands watching a ball game, and the players actually are too high for a ball game. They're not really relaxed.
Jerry, Kareem is going to retire at the end of next season. There's so much talk about the possibility of you making a deal with Houston for either Ralph Sampson or Hakeem Olajuwon. Have you talked to Houston, or do you plan to?
Well, really, Brent, I don't really think that would ever happen. A player like those two, they don't come along very often. I think the city of Houston would be remiss if they lost either one of those people. We have not talked to them at all. I think when you read the newspaper, everyone tries to run the team for an owner. And I think here in Los Angeles, they had a poll the other day, and no one said, don't break up the Lakers yet.
Jerry, I know a young man you like is James Worthy. I think he could be the next Dr. J in this league. Pat O'Brien has prepared a special piece on him, so let's go to Pat now.
Thank you, Brent. You know, we were talking about all the stars there. James Worthy is a textbook example of how not to act once you achieve Hollywood stardom, because Worthy is not your typical Hollywood star. His marquee begins and ends here on the floor of the Forum. This is where Worthy makes his real music.
I'm sort of a simple guy, and, you know, I like the peace and quiet, and here it's just a lot faster than where I come from. The glamour life, you know, you have Hollywood, all the movie stars, and it's a little bit too materialistic for me.
If you don't know who you are, Hollywood will seduce you, and if you don't cooperate, send you home. But James Worthy knows exactly who he is. And coming from Gastonia, North Carolina, taught him to remember what it was like getting to where he is now. He was brought up to never forget his roots.
He's never got the big head, because we always try to tell him to stay humble, because he was just another human being that had talent that a lot of other children didn't have.
James Worthy's scrapbook proves that beyond doubt. From junior high on, it was apparent this kid had something special. His fast footwork and swoop to the hoop trademark started to show in high school. But it was North Carolina where they started putting the word star before the word player, as he led his team to the 1982 Final Four, handing Coach Dean Smith his first championship.
Oh, he threw it to the wrong man. He threw it to Worthy. It's over. It's over.
He decided to go to the pros early and get his degree later.
The timing was perfect. I had accomplished, you know, a lot of individual awards and individual recognitions, and we had won a national championship.
All right, James, you're about to become a Laker.
And to nobody's surprise, he was the first to go in that year's draft. One would think that when you're the #1 pick in the NBA draft, you'd be an automatic starter. Well, it didn't work that way for James Worthy. #1 draft pick, but #6 on the team. And James Worthy hasn't allowed his ego to tell him that that's wrong.
I don't really have an ego problem. My biggest ego problem is winning. I like to win, and you know, because when you win, all the individual honors and all those things come along with that.
Well, he got both. The Lakers were winning largely because of his individual efforts. He seemed to carry with him the confidence of a veteran and sometimes the wisdom of a hardened street player. But just before the 1983 playoff tickets were printed, Worthy broke his leg.
It was frustrating, you know, not being able to participate, particularly when I was anxious to play in my first playoff experience.
So in this, his first playoff experience, he has been, well, spectacular. He is looking for his first championship ring. That's not definite yet. But there's another ring that is definite. This August, he will marry Angela Wilder, who sees a James Worthy Southern California doesn't.
One time I read he was stoic in a paper, and I just started laughing because I have seen this man do things that would just blow you out of the water.
That's not true.
See, it's true.
Oh.
Well, it is true that Angela will make sure James isn't seduced by Hollywood.
She's the only one that I feel comfortable with, and being in the limelight, it's easy to forget who you really are. And, you know, basketball is very important to me now, but it's not, I don't think it's going to be the biggest part of my life. I think the biggest part of my life will probably come after basketball.
A unique young man, and I'm sure life after basketball is a long ways away for James Worthy. And Brent, I'm sure Jerry West hopes it's a long, long ways away. Back up to you.
All right. Jerry, they say that James Worthy has a weakness. He can't shoot the ball outside.
Well, really, I think people would be surprised because in our practices he shoots the ball extremely well, and I think he's demonstrated almost all through the playoff that he can knock that shot down. But Brent, he is one of the great kids I think I've ever met in my life. And we really felt like we made the right choice in him, and to this point, we're delighted with him.
You've done a marvelous job here with this franchise, Jerry. Thank you for dropping by.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to continue with the coach, Kevin Lockery. The Chicago Bulls will be along to tell you about illegal defenses that are not being called in this game after these messages from your local station. Coach Kevin Lockery. Kevin, you've been keeping some interesting statistics on Dennis Johnson and the Celtic guards. What do they show you so far?
It's very interesting. While Dennis Johnson is on the floor, the Celtics are minus 26 points. He's just not making the outside shots. Totally, the Celtics have only made 8 out of 26 jump shots. It's tough to win. That's why the Lakers are able to fast break.
But they do have one man, Scott Wedman. When they bring him in, it changes the look of the team.
He really has. Not only offensively, he makes the jump shot here, which they need his outside shooting so badly, but he's big enough to play Magic on the other end, and when he played Magic, that's when the Celtics play best.
Would it surprise you if K.C. Jones eventually started Wedman in this series rather than Dennis Johnson?
I think it's a possibility because they're really being dominated. They were very fortunate to win the second game, and they're being dominated so far in this series.
Kevin, Jerry West alluded to the aggressiveness in the way they're rebounding.
Here, Michael Cooper, off a missed foul shot by Rambis, will tap it in. That's been the story of the game. But sometimes you get carried away with hustle and you forget about it. Might be quickness. They are so quick, much quicker than the Celtics.
I lost track of it when you hit a dozen illegal defenses that haven't been called. Can you show us exactly what constitutes an illegal defense?
Well, there's several different ways you can call illegal defense. Right here, Byron Scott, number 4, is guarding Joe Henderson. He's legal defensively right now, but eventually the legal defense will be called on him. Most of them, illegal defenses, are away from the ball. Here, Henderson stays over the top of the key, but Byron Scott drops below the foul line extended. He must come above the foul line within 3 seconds, or he's in an illegal defense. Jack Madden calls the illegal defense right here. Byron Scott looks at his feet. That's an illegal defense.
And, of course, that was Thursday night in the Boston Garden, so obviously some referees don't call it as much as others.
And you get a feel for officials, so you can take an advantage. If you got an official out there that you know might be letting it go, you can steal one down there.
All right, Kevin, the second half is coming up right now. The Lakers are in command of Game 3 of this NBA World Championship Series. Let's see if the Celtics can pull themselves back together. Dick Stockton will be back in just a moment.
The Lakers are leading by 11 at the half, and of course they're shooting the way they shot all year, 53% from the field, and as Kevin Lockery pointed out, the Boston guards, so important, are shooting even worse than the 36% that they are shooting. Offensive rebounds, that's one area where the Celtics have thoroughly dominated the Lakers in the first 2 games, but right now they're all even at 7-7, so the big strength for Boston not even there today. And of course, Tommy Heinsohn, it looks as if you feel that the Lakers have solved the Celtics defense here.
Well, they pulled a sneak on him, Casey Jones. They packed it in, and I think it mystified Kareem for a while. But after one of those timeouts, they adjusted to it beautifully, and they've got Kareem back into the game scoring-wise.
And what about the other end?
On the other end, I think they've really mystified the Celtics. They've taken away the inside game. I think the Celtics have to go back out and hit that outside shot with guys like Wedman and maybe Ainge we'll see in the second half.
So you think the number one thing for the Celtics, of course, to hit the shots to take away some of the break, but getting back on defense.
Defense is the number one thing against the Lakers. You've got to get back quickly. And if you miss that offensive rebound, you got to turn tail and get back there.
Lakers will inbound. There's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who scored 9 points. They have 3 men in double figures. McAdoo with 13, Rambis with 12, and Worthy with 11. For the Celtics, Bird, 16 points. Then comes Wedman with 7. And so Abdul-Jabbar now with 11 points in the ball game, and it's up to 13 again as we start the third period. See what the Celtics have in mind now. And Cooper blankets Bird. He has had a history of good games against Larry Bird. Harris misses from far out. And L.A. Harris is 0 for 6 from the field, and that hasn't helped the shooting percentage for the Celtics either. Worthy playing a 2-man game with Magic Johnson and playing it well. Magic hit.
The double teams evaporate when you hit that outside shot.
Biggest lead of the ball game now for the Lakers is 15 points. Henderson going in and gets the roll. How important are the opening minutes here, this third period?
Well, you got to be very careful if you were the Celtics for the Lakers not blowing apart. They like to control the pace of the game in the first part of each half. They'll push it at you.
Bill Burtka said it at the beginning of each period that you make your statement, and the Lakers are trying to make theirs now. Cooper. So the Lakers doing a lot of two-man game. That time it was Kareem and Michael Cooper, and it's 63 to 48. Minute and a half gone by. Harris hits his first basket of the ball game in 7 tries. Cooper coming right back down on the layup and a foul. And that's what the old Boston Celtics used to do. Whenever you score, they came right back before you could blink an eye.
When you get the ball in the hands of Magic Johnson and the rest of them take off, you better get there and stop somebody. Watch Cooper coming up here strong before Dennis Johnson could even pick him up. So they'll push it right at you. Magic with his head up all the time looking to make that long pass.
Dennis Johnson picks up his 3rd personal foul. 16-point lead. Lakers keep adding to their margin. Celtics had a 5-point lead, and then the Lakers came back strong. But Harris now hits his 2nd in a row. He has 7 points in the ball game. Kevin McHale scored only 4 points in the first half. Here's Kareem, and the Celtics are just standing by.
Boy, they're just standing there, watching people swoop down and make easy ones against them.
They don't show much zip. Maxwell has a shot blocked by Kareem, and Johnson takes it away from Henderson. Cooper to Worthy. Johnson is back, and here comes Cooper to Randall. Timeout Boston. The Lakers are putting on a clinic.
They're doing it to him.
And the lead is at 18 points. Let us show you right now what block shots and taking advantage of turnovers will get you.
Well, they're taking it into the teeth of the packed-in defense of the Lakers. Block shots, Kareem right in there. Good steal by Magic, and the Lakers ever alert to push it up against any of those situations, and none of the Celtics back but Dennis Johnson.
The fast break points, the Lakers have doubled Boston's, and Kurt Rambis with 14 points. In game number 2, Cedric Maxwell had dominated the power forward position over Kurt Rambis. But today it's the other way around. It's Kurt Rambis who's perfect from the field and has 14 points. He's dominating Maxwell. Celtics have been outscored 35 to 12 since they had that 5-point lead in the second period. And another turnover gives it back to the Lakers. Magic to Rambis, another 2. And the foul.
When you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out stealing passes, you got something. A good scramble defense by the Lakers. They get way off Buckner. He can't find anybody to pass to. Watch now Kareem come right over and take it right out of the hands of McHale. Wow.
Rambis, the 3-point play. He has 17 points. He's the leading scorer in the ball game, and that is an unlikely source indeed for the Lakers to get some firepower, but they're getting it from Kurt. Maxwell gets in and gets the basket, but the Boston Celtics are reeling from the Los Angeles Lakers defense and fast break. Cooper coming right back down. Bird the rebound. You know Larry Bird's not going to sit still, but with under 9 minutes to play, it's a 73 to 54 LA lead. Bird bombs away. The best outside shooter for Boston has 18 points now.
When Michael Cooper is not guarding him, he'll get that outside shot off. That's how effective Cooper has been.
Bird is guarding Worthy, and McHale is on Kareem. A big edge there for Kareem. Worthy pumps. Rebound Maxwell. Celtics trying to come back. They have a lot of time, but they've got to make that consistent rally.
You got to get a good shot when you come up, and they're having trouble just passing the ball right now.
They are. McHale working against Kareem. Not enough on it, and Rambis the rebound. The Lakers are playing with the assurances of a team that's been here 3 straight years. 4 minutes gone by now in the 3rd period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn in a happy forum in Los Angeles. Lakers trying to take a 2-1 lead, and Magic Johnson, the net didn't even move as Johnson hits from outside.
All the Laker prove it to me players are hitting it from downtown.
The basket is good. There is a foul. Larry Bird hit, so he's coming back. Larry Bird has 20 points in this game.
Larry Bird is trying to take advantage of Cooper down in the low post because he's much bigger. He tries to go over the top, and he can do that against Cooper. The Lakers were trying to double and protect Cooper in that situation, but it didn't develop too quick.
Cooper's foul is his third. There's the time and the score. Bird with 21 points. Leads the Celtics. He is the only Celtic in double figures right now. Parrish and Wedman each with 7. Magic doesn't make it. And the rebound by Kareem, 15 points. And Pat Riley watching the Greyhounds run today.
And he said the paint is our office. We want to control that on the boards, and they sure are doing it today.
Scott Wedman comes back. He has 9 points. Celtics have to go with a slower team, but a team that can hit from outside. Worthy. James Worthy. Pat Riley predicted that Worthy would have his best game after that last one. He has 13 points, but you can't measure all that Worthy does with how many points he scores, Tommy.
When he's got it in the low post there, it's like, and he faces up to the basket, it's like being blindfolded and offered a cigarette.
Bird, foul, and we'll go to the line.
You are getting executed, baby. Watch him at the other end of the court. And he gets the ball inside, and he faces up. And Wedman goes down, but I don't blame him. It was like a bullet in the heart.
Timeout, 6:41 remaining in the third period. An 18-point lead for L.A. Right now, let's go to Pat O'Brien with a very popular ex-Laker. Pat?
Thank you, Dick. Norm Nixon, you almost got your old seat back here near the Laker bench. Do you miss it here in the Forum?
Oh, yeah, I miss playing in this type of series, but, you know, I just received a championship trophy. I'd like to say hi to my little daughter, Vivian Nicole, down in Miami, and my wife, Debbie. Hello, baby.
You heard it first here on CBS. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Pat. Norm Nixon, who, by the way, had a terrific season for the San Diego Clippers. Byron Scott came over, and it worked out for the L.A. Lakers, who also acquired Swen Nader. Larry Bird is on the line right now. The Celtics trying to dig themselves out of a huge hole. That's not the way to start it.
No, Larry Bird is one of their real fine free throw shooters. And when he starts missing those, you're having a bad day.
Best in the league. He's 6 for 7 at the line in this game. But right now, the Celtics can't afford to be anything but perfect from the free throw line. 6:34 remaining.
They got to take advantage of everything.
Lead is 17 for L.A., and they're playing with the utmost of confidence. When you're confident, you can hit that outside shot because the pressure is off. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Cooper drives. Celtics boxing out. Buckner coming back. Lakers are back on defense, however, and Cooper gets a turnover. Maxwell gets it back for Boston, and Bird drives in. Here's a long pass. Cooper going to Kareem. Watch out. Buckner did the only thing and the smart thing to Kareem at the other end, Tom.
Well, the speed of Buckner getting back there protected against an easy 2. But that's how well the Lakers are coached to utilize the fast break. The shot was made and the pass was up the court practically at the same time. What a play.
And of course, when you have a lead like this, you can play with the looseness of the Lakers.
That's a gamble, you know, that's the home run bomb. It may work, it may not work, but boy, when it connects, it goes right into the heart. It's like a sword. It's a morale breaker when a guy like Kareem will make an easy shot like that. So Buckner saved him.
And if it doesn't work,
you've lost nothing.
6:02 remaining, third period. 80-64, the Lakers.
I think Kareem's having an awful lot of fun out here today.
He's had fun this past year. Pat Riley said he purged himself when he wrote that book, Giant Steps. He's having a good time. He's more open than he's ever been before at age 37. Oldest player in the playoffs. McHale goes to the hoop. Kareem blocks it to Worthy. It's a 4-on-3 right now. Celtics trying to get back into the flow. Cooper banks it in. The Los Angeles Lakers look like nothing could stop them right now with 5:35 to go. Bird smothered by the defense. Maxwell goes in, and he is fouled.
Let's see McHale taking it strong to the hoop past Rambus, but guess who's waiting behind him? The goggles. See you later, baby.
Maxwell will go to the line, and the foul is on Kareem. That's his third personal foul. If the game continues the way it is now, I think the Boston Celtics are really going to have to take stock in what they're doing going into game number 4, because it will become apparent if the Lakers win the way they're winning now that they are the superior ball club.
I'll tell you, the guy that I think is the key to this thing for the Celtics is Dennis Johnson. They have to get him on track and play in a helpful way. And this is not a total knock on Dennis Johnson. Maybe we can get back to it a little bit later. He played well in other series in a style that he's trying to employ here, and it's just not happening.
Keep in mind, in all fairness to Dennis Johnson, he really has risen to the occasion in previous playoff series this year for the Celtics. Here's Bird going in. Doesn't get the roll, will go to the line. So the turnover, and now Larry Bird will shoot. 5:05 to go in the third. Bird has scored 24 points for the Boston Celtics. His playoff high is 37, with which he scored against the New York Knicks. Might have been 39.
A lot of people think Larry Bird is really, really getting tired in this series. What's happening to Larry Bird is that one of the few people in the NBA to play him well is Cooper.
Kurt Rambis goes out to the cheers of the fans. 17,505 at the Forum, replaced by Bob McAdoo. Rambis 7 for 7 from the field and 3 rebounds. Bird now with 26. Lakers by 16, under 5 minutes remain in the third period. Good pass. Magic to Kareem, and a foul. Kareem now with 19 points. He has hit his last 6 shots. Tough day for Larry Bird, who has all the pride that epitomize Celtic pride.
He is the soul of the Celtics. There is no quit in that man. He'll go right down to the end of the ball game. If they lose by 20 on the last play of the game, he's liable to dive into the balcony for a loose ball.
19-point game. Bird. And a legal defense called against the Lakers as Danny Ainge comes back in the ball game. We hope you have a better idea about what the illegal defense is all about after hearing Kevin Lockery explain it. I haven't seen much of Danny Ainge in this game. He played well in game number 2. Quinn Buckner goes out. That is the first illegal defense call against LA. Second time would be a technical foul. Magic all over Wedman. Wedman misses. And McHale was there for the rebound, but scooping it and over his back was Magic Johnson, who goes the distance and draws the foul. What can you do about that?
Well, Magic exhibited the strategy that Pat Riley hoped would work by playing a 6'8" man in the backcourt and Worthy in the backcourt at certain phases. They hope to control the offensive rebounding of the Celtics, and they have done it here today.
In boxing, they say one fighter is beating the other fighter to the punch, and the Lakers are beating the Celtics to the punch.
There's McHale with a fairly decent chance at a rebound, but Magic comes from behind. That big guard pulls it down. What are you going to do?
Maxwell, 4 personal fouls. Celtics in the penalty. Johnson now with 10 points. He has 16 assists in the ball game. He's been the top playmaker. Bird, double team. Good pass to McHale. Can't do anything inside. Great defense by the Lakers. They just are so quick that they can make the double teams work and get to the other player that's open. McAdoo over Maxwell. Here's Wedman. 4 minutes to go in the third period. Danny Ainge. Rebound Wedman. And Wedman on the follow-up. 11 points for Scott Wedman. Lakers maintain that spread of 17 to 19 points that they have right now, and the time continues to run.
I'll tell you one thing, while Danny Ainge is in there, anytime they back off him, it's going up there.
Double on Kareem. Magic is open, and a whistle. And now an illegal defense called against the Celtics, and that'll be a technical foul. That's the second time Casey Jones' team has been called for it.
Well, on Larry Bird, he was below the foul line, much like the example that at halftime was shown.
ML Carr is coming in. He has not played in either game. This will be his first appearance in the championship series. He is in his 8th year from Guilford College in North Carolina. Cooper will shoot the technical foul. There's ML Carr He stirs things up defensively. Very popular and physical.
Mr. Mouth, they call him. You know what he says when he comes into a ball game to opposing players? This is Pat Riley's wife. You know what he says? He says, "I'm here now. You're in trouble, pal." Tries to put some fear into them.
Chris Riley is enjoying this game. You could tell by her lovely smile. Magic Johnson trying to get the pass in, but a Celtics foul. And LA will go to the line to shoot 2. Danny Ainge commits the foul. And Michael Cooper will shoot. We have 3:25 remaining in the third period, and now Danny Ainge has said one word too many. And a technical foul has been called. And right now, the Boston Celtics are in disarray, Tom.
Well, they're getting whipped soundly here today. There's no question about that. They have not shot well from outside to develop their inside game, and they're plainly being out-hustled by the Lakers.
And I think, more than anything else, I think the Celtics are really bewildered by the quickness and speed of the Lakers, no matter how they're getting it done.
Well, they contained it pretty well up in Boston with certain little things like making Magic come back to get the ball, but there was no little gimmicks here today to stop this very, very fast Laker fast break. And in addition, when you're at home, your feet move a little bit faster on defense. Those hometown fans make you move a little quicker.
23-point lead. And the beleaguered Casey Jones can only sit and watch. Michael Cooper with 17 points, 11 of them this period. Ainge trying to penetrate, and Parrish loses it at the bound. And the Lakers want more. Johnson behind Parrish, going in. The Boston Celtics are being whipped, and they're showing it.
This is becoming a blowout, and it could be of huge proportions.
Carr going in with a shot. And the pass going out, and Magic Johnson can't control. 2:49 on the clock in the third period. Here's how Magic did it as he shadowed Parrish.
Boy, he's coming right behind him, and before anybody can see him, it's in the hoop.
And a timeout by the Lakers. It is Los Angeles. They are so dominant now. Yeah, I didn't know you were going to go to Chris Riley or any of those people. You know, you just put them on. And one of Tom Heisen's former teammates with the Boston Celtics, the president of the LA Lakers, and one of the finest men you'll ever want to meet, Bill Sharman.
Boy, I'll tell you, he was really a competitor back in those days with Bill Russell. But he's the link between the Celtics and this current LA Laker franchise. He was the first one that brought a championship to the Lakers here in Los Angeles. And Pat Riley played for him. And you can believe Bill Sharman taught fast break basketball, and I think Riley picked up an awful lot from Bill Sharman, who picked up an awful lot from Red Auerbach.
Question is, where did Red pick it up from? 2:45 to go in the third. ML Carr into McHale. McHale baseline shot. The Lakers have scored, by the way, 37 points in the first 9 minutes of this period.
They have been devastating here. They came out of the locker room sizzling.
And scoring at will. Here's Kareem from Magic Johnson on the back door. Carr is back. And a Los Angeles foul. It'll be their 5th. And the penalty situation. And now Swen Nader is coming in the ball game. He's been the backup to Kareem. He played 5 minutes in game 1. Swen Nader, who's born in the Netherlands, and a veteran, replacing Kareem, who has scored 22 points and has 8 rebounds. And he has had 2 sterling games 1 and 3.
Boy, and he was out playing some staunch defense on the press, would you believe? You know, this stage of a ball game is a stage on a blowout like this that Red Auerbach was most concerned that the Celtics would maintain their pride, that they will go still for loose balls, play hard, and if you get beat, baby, you get beat. What difference does it make whether it's 20 or 2? But go out and play hard all the way.
And they have a lot of time, despite the fact that they're being beaten soundly, even more than the scoreboard indicates. They have a whole period and a couple of minutes left. Michael Cooper misses the shot. The rebound by Parrish gets it up to Ainge. Ainge working against Cooper. Michael Cooper is simply a great defensive player.
Well, when he is on you, you got yourself a man-sized job trying to get free.
McHale didn't get the roll. Cooper back to McAdoo, gets the ball up, does not get the roll, but draws the foul, and he'll go to the line. And when the Los Angeles Lakers are running, there is no one to stop them. They're going to get inside and either get fouled or get the basket.
You know, what makes a fast break devastating is a guy like this guy coming right in now. They haven't even used him, but he's got the super speed. And Pat Riley was reluctant to try to really cheer him, Mike Cooper, because he's just done an outstanding defensive job. But that fast break really works because of the speed of the forward core here in L.A.
Michael Cooper has scored 17 points, and 11 of them here in the third period. Gerald Henderson returns to the game. The Celtics starting guards have scored a total of 8 points in the ball game. 4 for Henderson and 4 for Dennis Johnson.
Well, they got a press team in here, the Celtics, right now. They're going to have to try and do it that route.
Parrish hits the jumper. Also in the ball game for the Lakers, they have Jamal Wilkes, along with McGee and Nader. Magic Johnson, the only man who started the ball game for the Lakers, is in there right now. So Pat Riley with the luxury of giving some of his players some rest. Nader, good hook shot. Tipped up. McGee. Parrish blocks and a foul. McAdoo was inside.
And the guy that kept the ball alive was Mad Dog McGee, they call him. You know, he'd step on his grandmother to get an offensive rebound, Pat Riley says.
Coming in for the Celtics is Greg Kite, who made an early appearance in game number 1 when Parrish got into foul trouble. He's out of Brigham Young and the #1 draft pick by the Celtics this year. McAdoo misses the first free throw. 1 out of 2. He's won every honor, Bob McAdoo. Top scorer, top rookie, everything but a champion until 2 years ago. Three-point attempt is short by Danny Ainge. Magic Johnson runs into Henderson. Great skill, stops on a dime. Nearly a minute to go in the third period. The Lakers are putting on a clinic. They can write the book. Wilkes with a fake on Carr. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and McAdoo. With Nader getting the offensive rebound. 100-76 in favor of the Lakers, as Henderson is fouled at the other end. Charlie Scott, who is a member of the Celtics 76 championship team, he was acquired from Phoenix, one of those great deals that turned things around for Boston.
He played for me, I'll tell you, and he made in that 76 championship the key defensive plays in each of the final games of those series. Big steals. I'll never forget the one in Phoenix that won the title.
And this year, ironically, the Celtics acquired another guard from Phoenix by the name of Dennis Johnson.
And he's been a pretty important part of this ball club. I think Casey Jones has got to sit down and have a long talk with Dennis.
Magic performing some magic to McAdoo inside. They call it showtime here in Los Angeles. And the Lakers are putting one on now. Henderson finding an opening. Good move by Gerald Henderson. 10 seconds to go in the third period. The Lakers, on a foul on Boston, will have a chance. To put 47 points on the board in this third period.
Boy, when things are going bad, there's 1 second on the clock and they foul. And you've got some inexperienced players out on the court like Kite. That is definitely one of the things you don't want to do, you would think.
A somber Boston bench. McAdoo makes them both, and the third period is history. That's the end of the third period. The Los Angeles Lakers scored 47 points and are crushing the Boston Celtics 104-79. A rousing third period for the Lakers to break it open. We'll see, and we'll return to the forum after this word from your local station. Throwing it to them.
The NBA on CBS. Today's championship game from Inglewood, California is sponsored by Meisterbrau, a great beer at a great price. Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products. And by Sears, where you'll find great values. There's more for your life at Sears.
I think the Celtics wish they were in Disneyland. They're not. They're here at the Forum, and they're getting beaten soundly. Let's go to Brent and Kevin right now.
Dick, over here along the Celtic bench, you can see how unhappy the guards are, Kevin, because they're not playing.
The rotation of the 5 guards hasn't worked, but Casey had no choice. If Henderson and Johnson played well, they'd be in the game.
Let's go back now to Dick and Tommy.
Getting underway for the start of the 4th period. The Lakers, as Brent mentioned early in the broadcast, champions in 1980, 1982. They think the numbers show 84 could be their year. They're leading, trying to take a 2-1 lead in this series. Larry Bird with a runner and draws the foul to start the 4th period. What do you do now? It's 104-79, and you have a whole period to go. But you know, by the time you make that big climb, you may not have anything left.
It's a tough situation. I think what Casey Jones is doing right now is experimenting a little bit. He's got Bird playing the guard position and see how maybe perhaps that will work or not.
Look at the 3rd period, 47-33. A lot of scoring. It was the best Celtics period, but the Lakers scored 47. 1 out of 2 for Bird. So the Los Angeles Lakers have established a record today, 47 points in 1 period, and that is a championship series record, 47 in the 3rd period.
That's a good half for a lot of teams. But that's what the fast break can do. You score them in clusters.
Mike McGee, baseline. Harris, the rebound. And here come the Celtics. M.L. Carr, this is from the corner, and Wilkes gets the rebound. McGee and Cooper in the backcourt. McGee seeing his first action. He started most of the second half of the season and all the playoffs until lately. 8 seconds on the 24-second shot clock. We're going to clarify that record that we just told you about. Out of bounds, Boston has it. Long pass, Bird to Carr. Wilkes. Turn it over. And Gerald Henderson pushing it up. Mad Dog defenseman McGee is right there, and now an offensive foul called against Boston. We want to clarify that record. The Lakers' 47 points ties the NBA playoff record for most points in a 3rd period. That we know. .4 lead now, 104-80. The Lakers once scored 51 in the 4th period against Detroit in a playoff game 22 years ago. McAdoo, here's McGee. And now the Celtics have gone deep into the bench. Carlos Clark, their 4th-round draft pick from Ole Miss at 6'4". 91st player picked overall is into the ballgame. So Clark is in the backcourt. He's number 40.
They like him. I feel he's got a lot of poise. He's going to be a player of the future. I'm sure right now they're hoping he's got an outside shot for next season.
M.L. Carr. Parrish with Nader on him. Parrish going in. You saw McGee trying to double.
41, head check.
And a Lakers foul.
Now this is get the boys that don't normally get into the game a little warm. Let them perspire a little bit.
More than anything else, Tom, I'd like to know what many of the players on the Boston bench may be thinking now as they play this 4th period. Bird. This is a Nader gets the rebound.
They're not liking this situation whatsoever. Now, if Larry Bird is still in there, boy, he had a somber face sitting on that bench before.
Wilkes. McAdoo fighting. Lakers are fighting like the score is tied. Aren't they playing that way? Here's a 2-on-1. Bird is hit, and Larry will go to the line. You know, Michael Cooper has such pride in his defensive play that he doesn't even like that foul call on him now, leading 104-80.
Here's Bird on the hustle. He makes a strong move. But look at Cooper. He played both of them. He made Henderson hit the pass and did a great job on Bird.
And a timeout, 9:31 remaining in the fourth period. The Lakers lead by 24 points, and Michael Cooper is playing a terrific game. He's had a great defensive series. He has scored 17 points with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. But a lot of people may not know that when Michael Cooper was 2 years old, he slashed his knee on a coffee can. He had 100 stitches and was forced to wear a metal brace for 8 years. A lot of people never thought he would run again, certainly not play, and he's one of the fastest on the team.
Now, he's a man of challenges. Last year in the playoffs, when the Lakers couldn't seem to stop Mike Mitchell of the Spurs, he stepped up to Pat Riley and says, give me that man, I'm going to take care of him.
And the one thing that they always questioned was his outside shooting ability. This year, Cooper had more three-point field goals, Cooper did this year, than any Laker team in history. So you might say Michael Cooper just put a ribbon on the complete game in which he shows so well.
The ultimate compliment that Pat Riley gives to any player, he says he's tough-minded, and Cooper certainly is that.
McAdoo battling inside, Nader the rebound, follow-up is good. Swen Nader with his second field goal. He had to play in the shadow of Bill Walton at UCLA for 3 years.
You know, yesterday at practice, Swen Nader, I never saw a backup center work so hard as he did with Bill Burka. For an hour, they had him doing sets of 20 push-ups and running. What a competitor.
Henderson from the corner, 9 points for Henderson. Dennis Johnson, the other starting guard, 4 points. M.L. Carr watching things along with Dennis Johnson. Somber Celtic bench. They're watching the action, but I think they're thinking of other things. Wilt. Nader. Wilt. Look at him battle. Mike McGee gets the basket. Out hustling the Boston Celtics. And Henderson is fouled driving in. It's 108-83. And yet the Los Angeles Lakers are playing with the verve and hustle of a team trying to hold on to a 1-point lead as Magic Johnson comes back in the game.
Pat Riley up on the sideline, kind of giving the official what for, but at this point, you know, if this second unit can come in and hold their own and really extend the lead, that's going to create an impression in the minds of the Celtics that this team truly is invincible, because the second team is playing pretty well right here.
At what point do you think the Celtics will begin feeling that?
Well, I'm sure after this ball game, they're going to have a long talk in the locker room and try and say, forget this one, but I don't think they're going to be able to get that across.
Carlos Clark gets the basket, and that's a candid comment. Magic Johnson, who has 18 assists, 12 points, and 8 rebounds. Famed for his triple-doubles at double figures in points, assists, and rebounds, is pretty close. Needs 2 rebounds for that in this game. Jamal Wilkes is fouled. 7:51 showing on the clock. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they're not going to let any of the Lakers stars rush. That's for sure, isn't today? Here's a hand for Swen Nader, who goes out. Now, why is Kareem coming back in now?
Well, you want your team to come off and savor the win a little bit. I'm sure he's only going to be in there for more likely another additional 3 minutes. Swen Nader might be a little bit tired because he did play a lot of minutes in this juncture, so I don't expect Kareem will be in there for the remainder of the game.
There's Kevin McHale on the bench, and McHale has been the big sixth man, but if you check what's been going on in the playoffs, McHale has had his best games at home and hasn't really produced all that well on the road. And this is another case in point. Just more things for the Celtics to think about. Ford trying to get it inside to Parrish, turns it over to the Lakers. Magic Johnson to Wilkes. Carlos Clark defending. And Bob McAdoo pops and hits.
Boy, when they get the defense collapsing, McAdoo will slip right outside. He's great from the outside.
Kareem has 22. McAdoo has 21. Michael Cooper and Kurt Rambis have 17. Worthy 13. And Magic Johnson has 12. There's another story that we want to get to at some point when you talk about Nader and the centers on the Lakers, and that is Mitch Kupchak, who had hoped to be making a dramatic comeback. There he is, from having his knee torn up, 2 operations and brutal rehabilitation. He saw the light in March, but all of a sudden, Pat Riley decided to go with Nader, and he's been a very unhappy man on the bench. Mitch Kupchak.
Well, he never wanted to be what he terms an end-of-the-bench player. That type of mentality, be happy to sit there. So he's been fighting, trying to get back into that lineup. He played a little bit towards the tail end of the season, but hasn't seen much action in the playoffs.
Larry Bird has 30 points to lead the Boston Celtics. Mike McGee loses the ball. Wilkes shot. And here's Maxwell. 7 minutes to go. 4th period. Off Parrish's hand, but there's Henderson. Johnson the rebound, and he's hit in the eye. Magic Johnson was hit. Carlos Clark hit him, I believe.
Oh, Magic, even with one eye, can make a pass, though.
Number 40.
Here's Carlos right in the face, trying to swipe the ball away with an up movement of his hand. He goes down, but Casey Jones has felt all along that what you got to try and do with Magic is cut down on his assists and stop the pace of the game, and they have not been able to cut down on his assists.
They haven't done it, and in fact, Magic Johnson now has that triple-double we've been talking about. 12 points, 19 assists, and now 10 rebounds for Earvin Magic Johnson. There's Dancing Barry, who just did his number during the timeout. The Lakers lead 12-88, 6:53 to go, and there you have Magic Johnson in the ball game and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Why is that, Tommy?
Pat Riley does not want to let this get out of hand, believe it or not, but he also wants to enable the likes of McGee to play with the front unit, and Wilkes also to get their timing with the key players of the Lakers.
Why is Magic in there?
Well, he's certainly one of the key players. He's the assist man. It's going to get Wilkes, and Wilkes is his favorite target.
Carlos Clark misses. Bird slaps it away from Kareem. L.A. ball. Larry Bird has 30 points, but he would trade the 30 points in for a competitive game and a victory, that's for sure. In a minute. Nearly halfway through this 4th and final period. Kareem over Parrish. Wedman is in there with Maxwell, Carlos Clark, Bird, and Parrish. Here's Scott Wedman. Scott Wedman with 13 points today. He gave the Celtics some of that early outside shooting that changed the 14-point Laker lead to a 5-point Boston advantage.
And that's how desperately they need that outside shooting. They've made a forward into a guard, the Celtics, and that's very unusual.
McGee misses outside. Kareem gets the offensive rebound. The Boston Celtics were stung by a 16-0 run by the Los Angeles Lakers, and that broke it open here in game number 3.
Tomorrow, there will be no practice for the Lakers. But you better believe they'll have to be at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, the Celtics.
All right, Kareem with the bank shot. So Abdul-Jabbar has 24 points, and I want to find out from you in a moment what's practice going to be like for the green and white and a foul.
I'll tell you, after a big blowout, as we watch Kurt Rambis reporting in, you let them really think about it. Go home tonight, read the morning newspapers, sulk a little bit, and let them sink in that you better go out and listen. The first thing you want them to do is listen to you, and you better have watched those tapes the night before to come up with a positive way to turn it around. So it's a combination of the coach and the players putting it together. But I think Casey Jones has got that in his makeup, and his coaching staff right there, Jimmy Rogers and Chris Ford, and I think the players have the fortitude to listen.
Magic Johnson. 5 minutes to go. The Lakers with a blistering 47-point third period to break open this ball game. Kareem is short with it, and Rambis was there. It's still Los Angeles ball. And now Paul Mihalik calls an official time momentarily. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Magic gets it into Kareem. Parrish riddles the rebound for the Boston Celtics. Not much to cheer about if you're a Celtic fan in this game. Carlos Clark's ball goes off, and it's going to be LA ball. Bird has 30 points. Only 2 other players are in double figures. Wedman with 13 and Henderson with 10. And the Lakers are just going to town. Everyone who has played the game for the Lakers has made a big contribution.
Well, you get that fast break going. Players, with a guy like Magic Johnson dishing out the sugar, they're going to run twice as hard.
McGee gets a second chance. Mike McGee. Jack Nicholson is enjoying this one. Mike McGee, by the way, was a forgotten man on the bench for the LA Lakers for a couple of years as Clark banks it in. He was a #1 draft pick out of Michigan, a scoring champ there. They showed great patience. Johnson is hit again in the face by Carlos Clark. Clark has gotten the Magic twice. Swen Nader comes in, and I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is out, and he is out for good in this one. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 4 block shots, and a job well done.
And it wouldn't be a bad idea to get Magic out of there after these free throws, because he is the guy that they certainly don't want to have injured before this thing is out.
ML Carr is back, and Kevin McHale is back. Parrish sits down, and Larry Bird sits down. Bird has scored 30 points. It'll be a 30-point game you'd like to forget.
No question about that one, Dick. Bird doesn't measure success in his individual statistics. He measures it in terms of Celtic wins.
Here's Greg Kite coming back in, and Maxwell goes out. So it's Ainge and Wedman in the backcourt. Greg Kite, the rookie, Kevin McHale, and ML Carr. Carr is a swing man, and so is Wedman. And Carr is playing the backcourt position with Danny Ainge. So Wedman's a forward now. Danny Ainge.
That's what they needed. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Danny Ainge playing a lot more in the next ball game, along with Wedman, just for the fact, and the combination was pretty effective in Boston in the prior game. 2 outside shooters.
Here's Swen Nader working against the rookie Kite and scores. 120-96 with less than 3.5 minutes to go in this 4th period of a Laker rout in game #3 over the Boston Celtics. And I think the question's going to be, when we see you next Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern for game #4, is the residual effects of this rout on the Boston Celtics as Mike McGee scores on the fast break, and the psychological damage it's done, if any. Kite.
When you see a blowout like this, it affects a guy. The guy I'm concerned about is Dennis Johnson. What effect it has on him and how he rebounds from really 3 performances that were subpar.
And Magic Johnson has set a championship series record with 21 assists. In the game today, he set a playoff assist record against Phoenix, broke his own All-Star game assist record. He's the Magic Man, Irvin Johnson, and we have a timeout. Coming back to that. Right. 15. Magic Johnson, who has set an assist record for the championship series, and here's the play in which he did it, Tommy.
Boy, do they love to play with a man like that dishes it off. They'll run twice as hard when they know if they're free at the other end, they're going to get it. And Magic has more fun dishing it out than anybody, maybe even Larry Bird.
Double figures in points, assists, and rebounds, and Kevin McHale is on the line. So we always say that the team that loses has to make the adjustments, and the Celtics, the question is, can they make an adjustment? I know Brent asked Kevin earlier about what do you do with Dennis Johnson? Do you make a change in the lineup? Your thought?
Boy, if you make a change in the lineup at this point, take Dennis out, that might be him for the entire series. You know, he might not be able to make a contribution at all. He was a former starter, an MVP of the playoffs. Maybe you got to talk to him. I would get a hold of him tonight, Casey Jones, and have dinner with him or something and find out what the problem is.
All right, Larry Spriggs, a third-year player from Howard University, hit a jumper from the corner, and Scott Wedman hit a three-pointer. He has 16 points in the ball game, and McHale fouled. So Mitch Kupchak is also in the ball game, and most of the stars, if not all, are on the bench right now. Kareem, who has scored 24. There's Mitch Kupchak. James Worthy's on the bench. They didn't think Mitch was going to play again and see his first action in the championship series out of the University of North Carolina. Turnover gives it to Boston with 2 minutes remaining now in this third game of the NBA World Championship Series. The Los Angeles Lakers. In a devastating runaway over the Boston Celtics. McHale fighting his way in for 2 points. Lakers scored the first 7 points of the game. Looked like they were going to end it early. And then the Celtics came back from 14-point deficit to take a 5-point lead. And then Lakers ran off 16 in a row, and that was all she wrote.
That unswerving strategy of Pat Riley to pack it in and double down. The Celtics not able to solve it consistently.
So double team, as you say, in close against the big man. Here's Danny Ainge for 3, misses. Scott Wedman firing away. McHale playing volleyball against the glass. Great kite misses, and Kupchak the rebound. And here's a 3-on-1 break for the Lakers. McGee on a pass from Spriggs. And the Lakers starters are loving it on the bench. 1 minute to go. 128 to 104. And by the way, the Lakers' 47 points in the third period did indeed set a record for most points in a quarter in the championship series. Magic Johnson, 21 assists, breaks the championship series record. Byron Scott gets his first points. They're going to be celebrating in LA, even though it's only 2-1. The Lakers have to feel confident, and the Boston Celtics have to have some doubt as the Lakers continue to pour it on.
Well, they are going to continue that pace and show the Celtics right now. The Celtics starters sitting on the bench saying to themselves, we cannot let this team get running against us. This little session here, the last minute, is Nicholson leaving. Jack Nicholson leaving. And a happy man.
So McGee, 3-point play, and here's McGee again. I think Mike McGee is saying, look, I haven't played in a while. This is my time. And it's over. This has to be one of the most decisive routs in championship game history. The Lakers 137, the Celtics 104, and the Boston Celtics now trail the Lakers 2-1 in the best of 7, and a lot to think about as the Lakers scored 80 points in the second half. We'll be back to the Forum in just a moment.
So the Los Angeles Lakers dominate the Boston Celtics at Game 3 of this NBA World Championship Series. And I suppose I am struck by one thing. A couple of weeks ago, Magic Johnson telling me that he thought this might be the finest Laker team that he had ever been around. You're also struck by the thought that if the Boston Celtics had not gotten that miracle finish in the Boston Garden, we could be facing a 4-game sweep here by the Lakers over the Celtics. However, the Celtics have a great deal of pride, and let me now bring in Kevin Lockery here, seated next to me. And Kevin, what do you think? How can the Celtics regroup now?
Well, I think you might see some changes. They've really been dominated in 3 games. They're very fortunate to win the second game. It might be time to make a little bit of an adjustment, maybe in the starting lineup for Casey Jones.
perhaps in the backcourt, because that seems to be where the initial problem is.
Well, that would be the most logical one. Dennis Johnson only played 15 minutes tonight. They might make a move there. But it's a great team. The Boston Celtics have always been a good club. They'll fight hard. They got a great player in Larry Bird.
All right. Right now, let's send you to Pat O'Brien. Pat?
Thank you, Brent. We're Cedric Maxwell. How will you guys regroup now, Cedric?
I'm sure we take this on the chin today, and we have to go back in and play with more confidence. Lakers just spanked us today, and they played excellent. Magic, we let them do what they wanted to do, and there's no need of trying to deny we didn't play well. That's an understatement. The Lakers, we have to give them all the credit in the world today, and there's no cliches for how we played. We just played poorly.
Yeah, you said play with more confidence. Were you lacking in confidence today because you came off a big win in Boston?
Well, we played well up to a degree, and then we kind of let the Lakers have their way, and you can't do that in a championship series. Contradictory to what everybody thinks. I think it's going to be an excellent series, and we'll bounce back for the next game.
All right, thank you, Cedric, for joining us. Let's go back to Dick Stockton.
Thank you very much, Pat O'Brien. Tom, your final thoughts on this and what's ahead?
I concur with Kevin. A little change is in order.
All right, and in the backcourt, what do you think?
In the backcourt.
Maybe Danny Ainge?
Danny Ainge or Wedman, but I think I might go with Ainge.
All right, that's going to be what we're going to be looking for before game number 4 Wednesday night. And right now, let's go back upstairs to Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Dick and Tommy, thank you. And, of course, Kevin Lockery, too. I think what you have seen here this afternoon is a basketball team that is maturing into a full-scale force in the NBA. That would be the Los Angeles Lakers. They win this one easily, 137-104, and we'll be back now for Game 4 of the NBA Championship Series.